Well, if you can believe it, we've reached 1,000 videos on my channel. I don't know how I did it. I don't know how it came to pass, but here we are at number 1,000. Wow. So I decided to celebrate this little achievement by doing a quick Q&A video. I used to do a lot, I used to do these more on live streams and things back in the day. Kind of fell off the wagon, but to celebrate, I figured I'd just do a quick, yay, I'm here. And also answer some of the questions that you guys have sent in. So thank you to everybody who has sent in. I asked on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. We're going to talk about some of those questions that had been asked. So let's see here. Some of the questions. Somebody asked me about anime. Yes, I am an anime fan. I used to be really into them back in high school, and now not so much. I think I mainly stick to movies rather than television shows just because I don't have the time. So yeah, love anime. Like one of my favorites is Cowboy Bebop. I have the series. I have the soundtrack on vinyl. Yeah, great stuff. Arnaud B sent a bunch of questions in, so I'm just going to rapid fire those because I think some of them are really fun. I do not know Happy the Man. My favorite keyboard solo is from Firth V from Genesis. Favorite classical composer, probably Beethoven. Either that or Stravinsky, both kind of go hand in hand. Goosebump moments from Genesis, probably Cinema Show, the big oomph, either that or Riding the Scree or Anyways. From Yes, it's Awaken, the big climax moment. Same with whenever they do Starship Trooper live, Keys from Assertion Volume 1 probably has the best one. King Crimson, In the Court of the Crimson King, the title track from the debut album, as well as Starless. And even, I would say, Lark's Tongue and Aspect Part 4 has a brilliant closing to it. Musical genre that you absolutely dislike. I don't really have one that I dislike. There's just ones that I don't connect to. Hip hop and rap being ones that I don't necessarily connect to, but I'll listen to them every once in a while to see if I connect with something, and I still don't. 3 Desert Island Songs. Oh boy, that's a hard one. Probably the final movement in Beethoven's 6th Symphony. Gotta go for Cinema Show for Genesis. And the third one, Whirlwind from Transatlantic, just because it's super long. Favorite prog composer, Tony Banks. Again, I feel like a lot of these are just going to be Genesis oriented because they're my favorite band. Favorite prog lyricist, does Kate Bush count? If not, I would probably say either Peter Hamill from Van der Graaf Generator or Steve Hogarth from Marillion. Really like his lyrics. Favorite band, fusion band, I'm guessing Jazz Fusion. Return to Forever is probably the big one. Love that one. Metal record, my favorite metal record, probably Pale Communion. Yeah, from Opeth. Probably my favorite one. All right. That was fun. That's all the ones that I have from YouTube. I've got a couple here from Instagram that I'm going to grab. 365 Days of Prog, Naomi. Got to shout out her channel. Go check it out. Have I ever felt burnt out of progressive rock? And if I have, what made you come back to it? I honestly haven't felt burnt out from any progressive rock as a whole. What I have done is I've burnt myself out of individual bands, and then I've had to, distance myself from that band because I spent way too much time listening to them, and then eventually I would come back. One of the big examples of that is Van der Graaf Generator, because I was in a really, really dark time when I listened to Van der Graaf Generator and got really deep into them, and for the longest time I couldn't listen to them without being brought back to that moment. So, yeah, that's probably the closest I've been burnt out of progressive rock. I'll go through moods as well. I'll go through moods where I'm really into indie. I'll go through moods where I'm really into metal. But eventually I always circle on back. Carlos Fripp asked if I'm going to do a best of IQ, like worst to best. I haven't done a worst to best since Kate Bush last year. So I probably should get back on that. And yeah, so IQ is probably a good way to start because I think outside of some of their early albums like Are You Sitting Comfortably, 7 Stories from 98, and Noam Zamo, I know them pretty well, so that'd be a pretty good one for me to get back into. And that was it from Instagram. Let's go to Twitter. Twitter gave me a few more. So, this was a great question from Tuco, I believe it is. Tuco, did I ever dream of one day making my YouTube a full-time job? I gave it a passing glance back when I was let go from my job in 2020 due to the pandemic. But it's just not feasible. I don't have the numbers to make it do so, and I feel as though I would compromise what I love about this channel to get that kind of audience. I'm not here to make the big numbers. I'm here to have a good time. I'm not here to chase an algorithm. I'm here to do what I love to do, which is talking about music. And I know that it doesn't necessarily appeal to the big masses. You guys are my people, and I love sharing it with you, and I don't want to compromise that just to chase numbers. So yeah, it would be nice, but I'm also realistic. So, I get enough money off of this to pay for a couple records a month, which is good. My buddy Travis Lausch, asks, does it still blow my mind that I got to chat with Arjen Lucassen? Absolutely. If you haven't seen my interview with him, that was a super highlight of this whole thing and a real honor talking to him about the source. I would love to have a chat with him again, especially with his new upcoming project. But yeah, thinking about those people that I got to interview and chat with, Arjun was a huge get for me. And he was the one that reached out to me. Same with Fido Xavier, a personal hero of mine, chatting with him about Infernal. But even getting to chat with like Tony Levin and Pete Travis from Marillion, Tony Levin from King Crimson and Peter Gabriel and Liquid Tension Experiment. And I also got to chat with Inard Solberg from Leprous, which will be out on the public-facing channel in a couple of weeks. Patrons have been able to see it now for a couple of weeks already for his upcoming album 16, which is just fantastic. So yeah, it was really kind of interesting to think about those, those people that I had on my channel. My buddy Ian from Rhyme Signatures asked, we all have regrets, so what's an album that you regret buying the most? Not necessarily the worst album you own, but one that you regret buying. Bonus points if there's a fun story behind it. I don't really have an album that I regret buying. There's a few albums that I have purchased that I only got to complete my collection that I don't really listen to, like Gentle Giant's The Last Piece, Abacab from Genesis, even Devin Townsend's Lightwork, I'm not a big fan of, and I haven't really returned to it since I purchased it. But I can't say that there was any ones that I actually regret buying. Again, outside of like not playing them as much as I thought I would, the other thing is spending way too much money on some of these albums. Like I spent a lot of money on this, a few of those video game soundtracks that I have, like Sonic Spinball and Wise, I believe it is, that I didn't play it nearly as much as the price tag would have wanted me to. But that's about it. Yeah. Sorry, I don't have too many regrets on that. Long John Bronze asks if there's a band or style of music that you probably wouldn't have gotten into if I hadn't have started making a YouTube channel. I have been introduced to countless bands that I probably would have never have discovered if it wasn't for this. So, like, I wouldn't even be able to start listing all those. And a lot of those turned into my favorite bands and albums from those years. Like Dune's album from 2011 turned out to be one of my favorite records from that year. I probably wouldn't have gotten into King Gizzard as much as I did if it wasn't for this channel, specifically for Matt O'Leary. So go and check him out. In terms of like musical style, I don't know if I would be as into metal as I am if it wasn't for this channel, just to help kind of, I think I would have gotten there in the end. But I don't know if I would have gotten where I am now if it wasn't for this channel. I think I was going to go there anyway. Paul Larman, who is an active on Twitter, asked my top 1,000 albums. I'm not going to do that. There's no way. And I think for the last one, Mike asked even the ever thought about a Big Four tour festival from prog metal would look like, kind of like the Big Four of thrash combined influences and lasting powers. I think about 10 years ago, the Big Four would have been Porcupine Tree, Dream Theater, Opeth, and Devin Townsend. And maybe still that's what it's looking like now. And it also really depends on the style of progressive rock that you want to go to. Because I think the Big Four for progressive metal would be very different from the progressive symphonic stuff, you know, like the retro prog. Like if it was retro prog, the Big Four would obviously be like Spock's Beard, Flower Kings. I would want to put Frost and Car Mechanic. No, I'm going to go for Kappa. Yeah, Kappa. Well, Moon Safari. Moon Safari would take that one. And then, of course, you have modern prog, which I would put like Deer Hunter, Coheed and Cambria. I would put Beardfish and maybe even like Big Train or Gazpacho. And then for progressive metal, Haken, Between the Buried and Me, Devin Townsend, and Leprous. It would be a Big Four for those ones. So yeah, it really depends on the style. Yeah, I think that's kind of where I'm at. I love kind of thinking about that kind of stuff. You know, what ones would I have at this point? Because at this, like we are in a completely changed system than we were even 10 years ago. There's just so much more, and I'm so honored that, you know, I get to be a little bit of an ambassador about that. You know, I get to gush about it on my channel every week and sometimes every day. So yeah, I think that's where I'm going to leave it there. Thank you for everybody that submitted a question. Loved chatting about it. And yeah, thank you all for helping me make 1,000 videos, because honestly, I probably would still be doing it even if I only had an audience size of like 50. But, you know, having the audience size that I do definitely helps motivate, get those videos out. And it helps like reinforce the reason why I'm doing it, to make me come back for more. So yeah, I probably would have ended up doing 1,000 videos, but probably not for another couple of years if I had a smaller and less engaged audience. You know, I am so blessed that I have such a positive feedback loop of the audience that I have. So thank you all for being that audience and being there for me. And thank you all for watching. This has been such a great time. I've been loving every second of it, and I hope you guys have too. And who knows, maybe when I crack 2,000, I'll do another kind of video. And there's a video that I'm thinking about making that I'm not quite ready to make yet. But maybe we'll see that eventually soon. But for now, I'm just going to leave with thank you, everybody, for watching. As always, you guys are definitely the best. And until next time, notes out.